Ada for telling my daughter she cannot introduce her African-American boyfriend to her grandparents. Let me begin by stating that I have absolutely no problem with interpersonal relationships in general. Now that the air is clean, please allow me to proceed. My daughter, Anna, has lately begun a relationship with an African-American gentleman, Jamal. While I'm not exactly what you'd call a liberal, he's a fine young guy, and as long as my daughter is happy, I'll be pleased as well. The difficulty is that Anna has a naive attitude about the community in which she lives. Many individuals in the community have voiced their worry to me privately, and although her friends are pleased to see her in a relationship of this kind, they are not alone in their displeasure. As previously said, I have no issue with mixed relationships and have successfully reconciled them. Nonetheless, I am acutely aware of how some portions of the society regard these issues. It has been decided that my parents will come and stay with us for a week, and Anna expressed a wish to introduce Jamal to them, now that things between them are becoming more serious between them. This was something I told her up front, and clearly it was not going to happen. They may or may not have an issue with Jamal, but they will, and they will remember it even if the relationship is over at some point. They may even go so far as to completely block her off from the rest of the world. In response, Anna became quite agitated and intimated that I was a racist who was more concerned with what my parents thought than with how she felt. As previously said, I am familiar with my parents. They just do not approve of mixed relationships, and if Anna were to bring Jamal over even as a friend, they would be outraged with both her and me, as well as with Anna. Anna is now residing with Jamal and does not want to talk with me at this time. I understand her position. However, a close friend in whom I had confided told me that I had behaved inappropriately and that I should put more emphasis on pleasing my daughter than pleasing my parents. While my wife stands by me, she knows how my parents are. They had a problem with her for months over the length of the skirt she wore when I introduced her to them, for Christ's sake. She believes I have behaved inappropriately. I don't need any advice, but I do need to know. Is it possible that I've been a jerk? Story 2. Ada for leaving a bad review on a diner and ruining the waitress' life just because she was complimenting my husband's eyes in honor of my male 33-year-old husband's M30 birthday, which occurred some days ago. We decided to go out to a new restaurant and asked my in-laws to join us. While we were celebrating, this 20-year-old waitress who served us continued behaving strangely. She wouldn't take her eyes off my husband and made some improper remarks to him, and in front of us when she came and departed from our table. I was feeling uncomfortable, but decided not to make a scene in the hopes that she would stop. But when she brought the drinks, she placed them on the table, leans close enough to my husband in the hopes that no one would hear. But we did hear what she said, which was, "The sparkle of those eyes is igniting me." I was embarrassed, but I didn't say anything. P.S. My husband's eyes are a brilliant electric blue. I was really taken by surprise. I couldn't believe she had just said anything like that. I informed her, "What's more, you know what? You're acting in an unacceptable manner right now, and you should stop." She then turned around and went away with a smug smirk on her face. My in-laws gave me strange stares, and it was awful to be around them. I returned home and published a very negative review on the restaurant's Yelp page. The following day, I am called by the manager, who asks me to detail the negative experience I had at their diner, which I do. He then phones me back and informs me that their company is new and that negative reviews might ruin their image. He then inquires as to what it would take for me to remove the review. I inform him of the ramifications of his actions on the waitress. I receive a call from him to inform me that he has fired her. However, before I can remove the review, I receive a message from the waitress on my social media account, informing me that she did not intend to cause disturbance and was simply complimenting my husband's eyes, but that I have ruined her career and caused her to potentially lose her apartment and become homeless as a result of her being fired from the diner and being unable to pay rent. Even though I don't say anything, my in-laws point out that I overreacted and that this kind of thing happens all the time at meals, and that I just caused irreparable harm to this young lady's life over nothing. In addition, my mother-in-law said that I must have done this because I was envious of the waitress. Ada. My feedback has been posted on the company's Facebook page. The manager got in touch with me using the phone number that I had provided on my online profile. The waitress, on the other hand, spoke with me by text message. Edit 2. It seems that there are a range of viewpoints on what I should have done or how I should have handled this situation. I admit that I may have let things to spiral out of control, but I had no intention of firing her and didn't even want to engage the manager in the situation. Simple as that. Just write a review and you're done. Also, to all of those who have inquired, how insecure/jealous are you? I'll give you the same response I provided to my mother-in-law. I may have been upset, but I don't believe this was a proper way to conduct myself at work. That is all there is to it. Story 3. AITA for not making exceptions for a high-up's daughter. In my current position, I am the safety manager for a train firm, and I work at a huge rail depot. Someone much more senior than I was approached me and asked if I could provide his daughter with some part-time work experience on the job site. She is pursuing a degree in engineering, and he asked her to help the engineers on the job site. I was more than pleased to oblige, and his daughter, Ellie, began working with him a few weeks ago. It's only fair to state that Ellie has exceptional abilities. All of the engineers are really impressed with her work, and everyone believes she has a bright future in the field. There is no need for formal or professional attire in this business due to the nature of the work. We're all dressed in either personal protective equipment or casual wear. Ellie, on the other hand, always dresses in a professional manner for work. I've told her she doesn't need to since we all dress in a casual manner, but she likes to, which is perfectly okay. I had planned to take Ellie onto the train lines for the first time the day before yesterday. In order to enter them, you must have a special certification, although we may give temporary permits to individuals who do not have one. The railway operates under rigorous regulations, and all personnel must wear complete protective equipment while on the track at all times. Hard helmet, gloves, safety glasses, safety boots, and high-visibility pants, vest, shirt, and jacket are all recommended. Even though Ellie was willing to put on the necessary accoutrements, hard helmet, safety boots, etc., and to change her shoes, she preferred to merely wear a high-visibility vest over her work dress since she didn't feel comfortable changing into full high-visibility attire. Unfortunately, that is not how things operate, and I informed her that I would not be able to grant her a permit unless she wore the appropriate personal protective equipment. Later, I received a phone call from Ella's father, who informed me that I had been unreasonably strict with his daughter, and that she was only a child who should be given some slack, as opposed to someone studying for a professional career in a safety-critical industry. It was his opinion that she was nervous and new to the business, and that I shouldn't be attempting to frighten her into doing anything. That I would not make an exception for her was something I made clear. Anyone seen working on the railroad without proper protective equipment would be sent home, and anyone found doing so on many occasions would be barred from the job site permanently. Ellie won't be returning until next week, but I've had my boss, who is lower in rank than Ella's father, warn me to be gentle with her as well. I'm sorry, but those regulations are in place to keep people safe, and everyone, even Ellie, must adhere to them at all times. If she or her father don't like it, they may locate another employer that will provide her with job experience,